Merhaba arkadaşlar, ben Emre. Tangle Tower'a kaldığımız yerden devam ediyoruz. En son Poppy ile konuşuyorduk ve Poppy'den bazı şüphelerimiz oldu. Odasını aradığımızda bir kilitli yer bulmuştuk ve kilitli yerde kaseti bulduk. Neredeydi şu? Pardon, fotoğrafı bulduk. Fotoğrafta da niye böyle göründüğünü çözmeye çalıştık. Şüphemizi aktardık. Şimdilik de yeni karakterimizle tanışalım. Kuş kadınla.
Oh, just beautiful. What is it?
Huh?
Sort of a delicate jade, but with a little seafoam green, is that right?
Sorry?
Your hair, dear! Which shade do you use? It's lovely! And that shape, you're really pushing the envelope.
Oh, thanks. I do what I can to offset Grimoire's beige on brown ensemble.
Detectives don't need to be brightly colored. We prefer to blend into the background.
Oh, you're the detective? Delightful. Penny Pointer, pleasure.
Is that short for Penelope?
Officially, yes, but I never can be bothered with all 4 syllables of it. Penelope sounds a little ostentatious coming out of the mouth, don't you think?
Sure. Yeah.
Evet bakalım,
20-something
kendini anlat
Aquarius
Penny.
love to travel, and nearly all of my friends are birds.
Travel? Where to?
Anywhere at
Başka
all,
odaya diyecek.
as long as it has species worth studying. Ornithology, they call it. I call it the only thing I've ever been good at.
And have you studied the birds here at Tangle Tower?
But of course! Where else do you think I developed my love of the field? No matter where I go, I always find myself coming home to Tangle Tower.
Because of the birds.
Oh, no, because of him! Silly to admit, but I suppose I can't bear for us to be apart.
Who are you talking
Kimden
about?
bahsediyorum?
Oh, don't you know? My fiancé, dear Fitz. He's not really the traveling type, you see.
Fitz fellow.
The very one.
You're engaged to a member of the Fellow family? That's interesting.
I'm not especially interested in whatever tedious feuding goes on between our 2 families. Fitz and I find it much easier to stay out of it altogether.
PP buymuş.
I awoke early and headed down into the greenhouse to see Fitz. He's always there, crack of dawn, every morning like clockwork.
How come?
It's where he's happiest. That and he has a great deal of work to do every day, watering, pruning, mulching, whatever that is.
Do you help him with the work in the greenhouse?
Oh, no. I wouldn't dream of it. I'd probably break something.
So, you stayed with Fitz the whole day?
No. In the early afternoon, he went back inside. Rather suddenly, as it happens.
Did he say why?
He didn't. Probably just a touch of heat stroke, the poor dear. He's more delicate than you'd think.
What did you do after that?
Let's see. I returned to the aviary to feed my birds.
And how many birds are you responsible for?
Officially 4, but in truth it's more like 400.
Can they not feed themselves?
Of course, and they often do. But I think they just like the company. As do I.
Ne kadar üzgün bakıyor. İfadeni söyle
Sometime
bakalım.
in the evening, I left the aviary and headed back towards my room. But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. He was muttering something. Seemed a bit upset, the poor dear. I followed him down, but the grand hall was empty by the time I got there. Empty aside from Detective Hawkshaw, who was loitering over by the library. I don't know what it was, but she looked a little lost. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower. I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path. For some reason, he was coming out of Fitz's bedroom. He looked rather lost, too. I told him I was looking for Uncle. He suggested we look up in Flora's tower room. We could see from the hallway. The door was off its hinges. I knew then something was terribly wrong. A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya. Uncle Pointer was there. Fitz, too, standing over in the corner with Fifi and Poppy.
What about Flora?
Of course, silent as ever. Uncle suggested we should leave. Give the others some space, you know. So he and I both returned to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
Şimdi sırayla Kraliçe söyle bakalım.
She'd sit in the aviary, first thing in the morning, and paint the birds. Sometimes she'd ask me their names.
Freya was interested in studying bird species too?
No, just wanted to know their names. Isabel, Clementine, Myrtle, Lysandre, Genevieve.
Got it, thanks.
For my 21st birthday, she gave me a framed painting. All the birds from a single spring, with their names written underneath. I can't begin to tell you how much I've treasured it.
Sounds like you two were close.
I feel like I always struggled to articulate my admiration for her, but she had a way of understanding unspoken things. A
Burada
fellow bird enthusiast. She's quite the expert, truth be told. Studied them professionally at one point. I think her father taught her.
Are you friends with Flora?
A little bit.
A little bit friends.
She's one for the peace and quiet. I dare say I'm a little too loud for her.
I can see that.
I do admire her, though, really. Always felt like she could have done better than settle for Felix.
Ouch.
I said it.
yazık. Felix.
I must say, I really don't care for the den of self-delusion that he's retreated into. People are better off when they just let themselves be themselves. Between you and me, I think Felix is secretly rather miserable.
Havşan.
She's a most unsavory little... She was
Yes.
incredibly rude about my appearance.
Which part? The giant bird arms or...
If I were her, I'd go easy on the judgment of others. I mean, look at her. She looks like the ghost of a scarecrow. I just wish Uncle Pointer would tell her to behave herself.
Professor Pointer? Why him?
Oh, it was Uncle that called her in. She's his responsibility. Did you not know that?
İkisini
Isn't he strapping?
He is... big.
And so brooding.
Kinda sulky, yeah.
I can never tell what's going on in that beautiful head of his.
It just sounds like you don't know him very well.
I don't remember asking for your input.
Beni.
Oh, she's beautiful. Who is she? Wait, is that me?
Poppy.
Oh, did you talk to Poppy already?
Yeah, a little bit.
And did you make any notes of what she told you?
Yeah, I did.
Lovely. Burn them. It'll all be lies.
Why would Poppy lie to us?
Because that's what she does. She's a snake. Looks like one too.
Don't you think you're being a little unfair, Penny?
She started it.
O başlattı. Bunlar pek anlaşamıyor belli ki ve bizim baş...
She mostly ignores me if I'm honest.
How come?
Well, we're not quite on the same intellectual level.
Oh, you don't need to.
No, it's quite all right. I'm comfortable with it.
Evet, trilyon tane bulduğunuz şeyleri.
No, it's probably quite impressive. To a visitor, fresh eyes and all that.
Not to you?
Try living in it for 20 years. The sheen wears off. If it wasn't for my fits, I'd have little reason to stay.
What about inheritance? You're the next oldest pointer after your uncle, aren't you?
Well, thank you very much for phrasing it like
Yazık.
that. But no, any money left in the Pointer family will pass down directly to Poppy.
Is that fair?
I couldn't care less, to be perfectly honest.
Daha var.
Finally, I get to see a detective's case file.
That's a very specific thing to be excited about.
Well, only last week I asked that miserable hogshot woman if I could see her case notes.
I'm guessing she said no.
Would have been much more polite if she had just said no. Instead, she was quite rude to me. Accused me of being, what was it? A shallow sensationalist.
Bu.
Goodness me. Poppy really doesn't take care of her belongings, does she?
It wasn't in Poppy's room. It was in the little pond in the garden.
Exactly! Hardly the place for it. Hello. Who penned this juicy little number?
We don't know. It's not signed.
An anonymous letter? Classic clue.
What
I
the?
doubt Freya intended it, but the overall effect is a little unsettling, don't you think? It's Flora that's the problem. She's an inescapably haunting presence, bless her.
Fırça.
Oh, that's rather sad. Freya doesn't take very good care of her paints, does she? But then she was always rather bohemian, had her own priorities.
Ne
Poppy's
yapalım?
gramophone. She's had it for a long time. As a young child, she'd call it her mama phone, on account of it belonging to her mother.
That's cute.
Oh yes, adorable.
Anafon.
How terrible.
You recognize it?
The color scheme. 3 different pinks. Obscene.
Tiksinç.
Gaudy old thing, isn't it? Flora seems very fond of it. I've never understood why. But then I could say the same thing about her husband.
Heyo!
Bu.
A bit vain to carve wooden figurines of oneself, isn't it?
Kibirli davranış.
If I'm not mistaken, that little red and white one is supposed to be a bird of some kind.
Kuş
I
olması.
know a lot of people
O kadar
really like
kötü.
this painting, but it's a little much for me. I find it overbearing. And for some reason, it makes me feel bad for Freya. I think she was more troubled than we knew.
Bu.
Freya was very talented, even at that age.
Do you know how old this photo is?
Not sure. Must be a couple of years at least. Sometime before Fiona settled on her current style.
Bu.
Very nice.
You've seen these before?
Yes.
All of them. Even this one of...
Yes. Somebody taking an interest in extinct animals.
Extinct.
Oh, yes. The book is very old. Most of the birds in it are long gone.
Well, what about this bird, though? The ink dip.
This one, well, it was thought to be extinct for a long time. Then one was found here at Tangle Tower.
So it's not extinct.
You misunderstand. It was the last one. The very last.
Oh.
Sonra mektup ama.
Ooh, a secret diary.
That's our guess too.
Excellent.
Bu.
It's that bird. But these must have been drawn at least a year ago. Oh, how sad. I don't know what that is. Oh,
Bu.
did Fitz show you that?
Not exactly.
We found it hidden under his bed.
Ah, right. Looks a little simple for Poppy, doesn't it? I thought she was a grade 12 or something.
I didn't know there were that many grades.
I'm sure they invented some new ones just for her.
Poppy'den
Can't decide what's
tiksiniyor.
worse. How she looks here, or how she looks now.
Do you know who this is? In the photo?
Oh, absolutely no idea.
Kesinlikle biliyor.
Haven't seen this one in a while. He lives in the music room, doesn't he?
Currently.
Tamam, her şeye baktık.
We can get into Penny's room now.
Penny'nin
Now,
odası.
like, right now?
Şimdilik gitmeyelim bu sefer. Böyle etrafı bir kurcalayalım.
An especially fancy cage.
And it's home to 3 especially fancy birds.
Ağır ve süslemeli bir kafeste parlak renkli 3 kuş yani. Yazık kuşları.
Does this count as being outdoors?
Yeah. No. Doesn't matter.
Ayna var
I
şurada.
don't like mirrors. They steal your soul.
Ruhunu
How do
çal.
you get your hair so symmetrical without using a mirror?
I do it by weight. I can feel if one side is heavier than the other.
Hissedebiliyorum.
The
Burada.
little writing desk. It's kind of cute.
There's nothing written in the book, although someone's torn a page out of the middle.
Bir sayfa koparılmış. Burada.
Check out that butterfly.
Looks evil.
Wow, judgmental.
Bura neye bakıyor?
What's those little windows down there?
I think they're there for draining rainwater.
Oh,
Burada başka bir şey yok herhalde.
They're bird cages, but the birds are coming and going freely.
is that a metaphor?
Oh, it totally is.
Kesinlikle. Tepe.
A rather magnificent bush. Somewhat cruelly confined to a stone pot.
There's a letter P carved into the side.
Burada başka görecek bir şey yok herhalde. Hadi odasına bakalım. Penny'nin odası. Tabii her yerde kuş olacak yine.
Looks like nature invited itself in. Rude.
Kuş evine
It's
bak.
a birdhouse.
Are those real birds?
Pek değiller.
Nope, they're wooden.
Tipleri çok hoş.
They're using up all the perches. What if a real bird wanted to use it?
Biri kuşun konumlarını değiştir. Neye göre değiştireceğimi bilmiyorum.
Nope.
Böyle bir
There must be some logic to how the birds are something to do with those white lines.
renkten olabilir mi? Örnek veriyorum. Beyazı kattığımı böyle olur. Oldu
Nothing.
mu?
I think the birds are related to each other.
Şöyle olur mu?
I guess that's wrong.
It's a family tree. The colors and eyes combine as they go down the family line. You'll need to start with blue and yellow at the top.
Gözleri. Koca gözlü oldu. Şöyle oldu o zaman. Doğru
I
mu?
guess that's wrong.
It's a family tree. You'll need to start with blue and yellow.
Böyle yeni
I
yanlış
guess that's
olacak.
You'll need to
Bunları
start with blue.
değiştirsek. Gözlü kısırdık, tam gözlü, açık. Biraz daha kısıldı. Kapalı, kapalı, çok kapalı, böyle eşit.
I guess that's
It's a
Benim
family
onu.
tree. The colors and eyes. You'll need to start with blue and yellow at the top.
Yellow ve mavi
I guess
It's
dedi
a
değil
family. You'll
mi?
need to start with
Mavi
blue
ve
and
sarı
yellow at the
başlaman
top.
gerekecek. Tam mavi, sarı. Mavi, sarı, yeşil yaptı. Beyaz katarsan biraz daha şey oldu. Böyle olacak.
Nope, that was it.
Renkleri de katmamız
Nice
lazım.
work. Did
Tamam.
the door open? What's in there?
Buruşuk kağıt. Yırtık bir kağıt parçası buruşturulmuş. İçinde kırmızı çiçek yaprakları bulundu. Kağıdın üzerinde aceleyle yazılmış kızgın bir mesaj var. Şimdi onu yakalayacağım. Burada kalpli bir
That's
çiçek var.
some flower.
There's something weird about it. It
Evet.
just feels out of place.
Sıra dışı bir şekle sahip parlak renkli bir çiçek, çok sağlıklı ve bakımlı görünüyor. Saksıdaki toprak taze ve nemli görünüyor. Ayrıca toprak mavinin ilginç bir tonunda. Bir sürü bavulu var.
Traveling cases.
Empty. All of them.
Ever get the feeling you're being watched?
The mannequins don't have eyes, though.
Gözleri.
That's not a comforting sentence.
Yani. Bu
A little tea set. Looks recently used.
One of the cups has tea in it.
What's in
Hey.
the other one?
Birdseed.
şey.
A little bedtime reading.
Let's see. Romance novels, detective novels, and
What?
this one appears to be both.
Nice.
Burada başka bakabileceğimiz bir şey. Gözle görülür bir şey yok
That
gibi.
bed. It's like something from a fairy.
Evet.
Does it feel warm over here, or is it just me?
No, you're right. Maybe the bed has some kind of heater.
It's not coming from the bed, it's coming from the wall.
Duvardan sıcaklık geliyor. Çok ilginç. Burada başka bir şey yok. Hemen öyle bulduğumuz şeyleri bir sorarım sana. Ben kişiler değil.
I must say the girls are awfully well behaved today. I think they know we're in the presence of company.
They belong to you? Why do you keep them in a cage?
They need a special diet, particular treatment. I let them out to fly occasionally, of course. But they're all one of a kind. I couldn't let anything happen to them.
Do they have names?
Of course. Let me introduce you to Tabitha, Tamara, and Tatiana.
I've already forgotten all three of those names.
Şimdi
Which
de
one
böyle.
is which?
Oh, that's simple. Tatiana is the oldest, Tabitha is the most patient, and Tamara has the best sense of rhythm.
Glad we
Okay.
cleared that up.
What about the one on your head?
On my head? It's just my hat. It doesn't have a name. Who would name their hat?
Ne?
That's rather strange now, isn't it?
We found it in your room.
Just lying around, was it?
Nope. You'd hidden it, but we found it.
We do that.
Who's the her in the message? And what's the deal with the petals?
It's really none of your business.
Çiçeği sor.
Yes, it's my my flower.
You don't like it?
I'm no good at caring for plants. I forget to water them. Birds are much easier. They're a lot more vocal when they get thirsty.
Do you at
Ne kadar
least
salakça bir düşünce.
like the look of the flower?
The look?
The colors? The shape of it?
Between you and me, I think it's a little vulgar.
Tamam, bunları da konuştuk. Ben önce şu kopya bir sor. Gidelim. Evet, korku filminden fırlamış. Penny hakkında ne düşünüyorsun?
Feathers flashing in the light, from a sunbeam gleaming bright. I shield my eyes and turn my head, but all at once I've been misled. Light is shining on the stage, but through the railings of a cage.
Şunları
Yeah,
soralım.
it's mine.
Evet. Bu. İlk bunu bizim için
Can you
çalabilir
play
misin?
the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I have it memorized. Yeah, it's mine.
Tamam. Ne özel kılan
What's
nedir
special
soralım bir
about
de.
it?
I got it from my teacher. It's the first piece I ever learned.
How
Hmm.
long have you been playing?
Since the day I turned 6. Family tradition. I was really excited to start learning. As soon as I got out of my first lesson, I told Freya and Fifi all about it. When I arrived at my second lesson the next day, Freya was there too. She hadn't asked permission, just showed up. For 2 whole years, the teacher taught us both.
Was Freya any good?
She would have been even better than me if she'd stuck with it. But one day, she just stopped coming to lessons.
Why?
That's just it. There was no reason. That's when I realized things were different for her.
Orada kalsın. Pop pop pop pop.
I don't know what that is.
Weird, considering we found it hidden in your room.
Well, my room is full of junk. There's probably a bunch of stuff hidden in there. I
Saçma
don't
bir
mean
bahane.
like... Please stop talking to me.
Lütfen benimle konuş.
Don't look at me. I didn't break it.
Does anybody else use the music room?
Yes. I don't know who, but I can tell when somebody else has touched the piano. I think
Kuşlar-
it's kind of cruel to keep 3 birds in one cage like that.
Does Penny not let them out to fly?
Oh, she does. She must do. But I don't think they're allowed to go far. Penny can be a little protective.
Bu ne?
Those petals,
What about them?
it's nothing. They're just unusual.
Kesin bir şey biliyor.
Never seen that one before. Was it in the greenhouse?
No, we found it in Penny's room.
Right.
Tamam, bununla da konuştuk. Şimdi en çok merak ettiğim... Gel bakalım. Şimdi bana ilk önce Poppy
Poppy and
hakkında
I are
söyle.
friends.
Oh,
Evet.
by that, dark clothes, blue hair, an average of 3 words per sentence. Oh, you're like 2 peas in a pod.
She's very kind, and she has an interest in plants, unusual flowers mostly. I've been teaching her.
Right.
Is something wrong? Penelope is my fiancée.
Don't take this the wrong way, but Penny doesn't really strike me as your type.
She's not who she pretends to be. People think she's... well, they make assumptions.
And how's the relationship doing recently?
Good. It's good.
Kesin bir şeyler gidiyor. Şunu söyle.
Poppy's piano music. I remember when she started learning. She's improved a lot since then.
Yeah, that's generally how it works.
Right. Of course.
Yani.
Any idea who this is?
No idea.
Tanımıyor
What's with
bu.
the broken glass? Penelope's 3 favorite birds. She's very protective over them.
Are they like her pets? Do they have names?
Oh, they have names. Penelope loves to name things.
Do you remember what she named them?
I do not.
Bilsen
Those
şaşarımdır
petals,
zaten.
What?
they're
Yeah.
red.
Burada bir sakatlık var da
A
çözemedim.
flower.
Yeah, it's a flower. We found it in Penny's room.
Okay.
Mean anything to you?
Why would it?
Come on.
I don't really go into Penny's room or anywhere in Pointer Tower. I just don't have a reason to.
Tamam. Elimizde patladı biraz. O zaman sıradaki Brutus. Evet. Poppy'yi
Poppy
söyle
has
bakalım.
remarkable musical talent. She could be famous, wealthy even, if she wanted to.
She'd probably have to leave Tangle Tower first.
Quite. I
Taylor?
find her rather embarrassing, little more than a spoiled child.
Penny must be at least 25.
27. Just makes it worse.
Ha, kötü.
Is
Okay.
that a clue?
Dunno. It was important enough to be framed, though.
I framed my law degree, doesn't make it a clue.
Same? Yeah?
Bu yapmamış.
Who's that?
Not sure. It doesn't really look like anyone we've met so far.
Strange. Some breed of
Peki.
amphibious humanoid. Potentially bipedal. Although none of the statues show the creature's feet.
I guess we'll never know.
Ya.
3 birds, 1 cage. What makes them worth keeping cooped up, I wonder? Would they not be happier flying free?
But then they might fly away from Tangle Tower entirely.
I wonder if they would.
Yeah.
These people really are ridiculous, aren't they? And you consider that important evidence, do you?
Tamam, bundan fazla konuşacak bir şeyimiz yok. Pipi en son baş şeyi. Felix'e bir gidelim. Uyan lan. Söyle bakalım
Poppy's a
Poppy.
good friend to my daughter. Always has been. I think they get on well because they're so different.
Different, like how?
Poppy is, she's quite introspective, good with feelings.
Gotik işte o
Fiona,
yüzden.
not so much. Still, Poppy always seems to be sulking about something.
The heavy, heavy price of emotional intelligence.
Beni.
Penelope seems to have really settled into a groove. She struggled a bit when she was younger, always a little estranged.
How come?
Well, she was mostly raised by her uncle, and he really only makes time for his own daughter. Now, of course, she's bringing the two families together through her marriage. It's a nice gesture, heartfelt, but futile. I've never been one for music. Why not ask Poppy instead? Oh dear.
Do you know who this is?
Not a clue. Now,
Niye
this
kimse
is still
söylemiyor?
in very good condition. Apart from the crack, of course.
What about those shards on the inside of the horn?
Looks like somebody broke a glass and was trying to conceal the evidence. Cunning.
Kurnazcı.
Bizarre things, aren't they? Penelope seems rather attached to them.
Do you not feel sorry for them in that little cage?
Come now, I'm sure they could leave if they really wanted to. Goodness me! That looks like it might belong to Fitz.
Tamam, bununla konuşacak bir şeyimiz kalmadı. Pek konuşmayacağını bilmeme rağmen gidip de şey yapacağım, yani çok hızlı geçeceğim.
Do you
Poppy.
and Poppy get along?
Nothing. Shocker.
Evet.
Grimoire, what could you possibly be writing down?
Oh no, I gave up making notes ages ago.
Yıllar
Now
önce
I'm
bir-
just doodling in the margins. Do you and Fitz have
Aferin.
anything to do with each other? Other than your initials?
Yok
What do you
benim.
know about Penny?
I can't really imagine those two being friends, to be honest.
You never know.
Şu. Bu. Bu. Bu. Konuşmayacağına eminim ama gene
Do
de
you know anything
soruyorum.
about these birds? Or birds in general?
Bu. Bu. Şaşırmadım. Sırf sormak için yani. Ben bunu konuşturacağım. İnşallah konuşuyordur yani. Hadi. Bizim sevdiceğimizle de konuşalım ve bitsin bu bölümümüz. Poppy hakkında konuş
Name,
bakalım.
Poppy Pointer. Age, 19. Profession, oh. Apparently Poppy has defaced my notes. Under profession, I had of course originally written pianist,
Ne
but
yazmış?
she has crossed that out and written the ghost of Christmas yet to come. Name,
Benim.
Penelope Pointer. Age, 27. Profession, ornithologist. Likes, birds. Dislikes, insects. Notes, Penelope is very beautiful. I have never had very much in common with her.
Zavallı
An
benim.
item from
Bu.
Poppy's childhood. Her earliest piano lessons hold some special significance for her.
Why's that?
No idea. She has never graced me with the details, and I am not forthcoming enough to ask.
You
Konuşkan
two
değil.
are friends, right?
We are, yes.
But
It is clear to me now that Poppy has become tired of my company.
is it anything to do with Freya?
Oh, no. The changes in Poppy's mood have nothing to do with Freya. Her concerns simply lie elsewhere.
Who is that in the photo?
I'm quite sure that I have no idea. Why did Poppy leave shards of glass all over this statue?
What makes you think it was Poppy?
The statue lives in the music room. Who else would it be?
What?
I am scared of birds.
Why?
Neden?
It is an irrational fear. I have no suitable explanation.
Oh,
Bu.
Who is this her to whom the message refers?
well, I don't know exactly.
Then how can I meaningfully evaluate this object? Next! It is a flower. It reminds me of something, but I cannot say what.
Böylece Hepsine sormuş olduk bulduklarımızı. Şimdi en son kişi kaldı değil mi? Artık bir sonraki bölümde de bu arkadaşla tanışacağız. Beğenmeyi, yorum atmayı, abone olmayı unutmayın. Bir sonraki videolarda ve serilerde görüşmek üzere. Bay bay.